Hey, what's up guys, how's it going on? Thank you so much for clicking the video. I'm Ayrus and welcome back to another Clash Royale video, and today we're going to talk about the Tornado spell. It's definitely been a time that the Tornado has some buffs in over here. So there are some things that I actually want to point out about the Tornado. A lot of people are actually using it the wrong way, which probably you shouldn't be doing. So I'll be giving you some basic mindset of how the Tornado should be used to make sure you're making the most out of it. So it is definitely a fair card to use. So before I start over, make sure to subscribe to the channel for Clash of Clans or Clash Royale content. Make sure you leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and then make sure you click on the bell notification icon if you are subscribing, so that you don't miss any of my new videos. You will get notified as soon as I put one. So so first off, let's do the introduction. If you don't know what the Tornado is, it is just going to cost you 3 elixirs, and it is a spell which pretty much does what it actually does in real life. It actually centers down all the elements, all the troops that you're actually going to put it. So it has a radius, so if you put the Tornado, the center is where all the troops are going to get dragged to. So it is of course a card that actually costs 3 elixir, a spell that actually costs 3 elixir, and it is mainly used to actually move your troops from one position to the other. So there are some basic uses we can do with the Tornado. So of course a lot of people are actually using the Tornado to call in the Hog Rider to activate the King Tower, which is of course a really cool thing to do. So if your opponent is coming up with the Hog Rider, put in the Tornado right towards the near to where the King Tower is, and he'll be dragged towards it, and he'll actually activate the King Tower, actually giving you more kind of attack power when it actually comes to defending. So the other thing which you can do with the Tornado is to switch between lanes. So if you're actually putting in a card, and if you can actually bring it kind of a bit more towards the center, kind of if the opponent cards are towards the left, and if you can actually get them kind of a bit more than what it is from the center towards the right, a bit more further from the right towards the center, then you can actually switch the card to go in from the other lane. So if there is a tower that actually has a lot of damage on this side, you can use the Tornado, but this is 100% precision. You definitely need to have a lot of practice on this. You probably won't get that easily. Also, the cards that you're actually going to put in also does matter, so it's going to be really hard, but then you can definitely make sure your opponent troops are switching between lanes. So the other thing which you can do with the Tornado is to kill all those cards that actually will be dying from a zap spell. So if you know any card that actually will be dying from the zap spell, or at least almost dead from the zap spell, then the Tornado will actually do what the zap can do as well. It'll probably do much more damage than what the zap will do, but then the zap is just 2 elixir. The Tornado does a bit more damage for just 1 more elixir. So those are the basic stuff that you can actually do. But then when it actually comes to the Tornado or the zap, there are a lot of balancing changes between the Tornado and the zap. So that brings us to a fight where which one is the better amongst the two, the Tornado or the zap. So when it actually comes to that, I'd say the Tornado is much better, because of course the more the elixir, the better the value. So the Tornado here does a bit more damage than what the zap can do. So the zap cannot kill the Goblin, the normal Goblin, not the spare Goblins. It cannot kill the Goblins, but then the Tornado can. Now the zap can again do some damage to the minions. I mean, just one shot away, but then the Tornado does that as well. But then it actually, the zap actually, as soon as you put the zap, they're stunned, but then they can at least do a few shots on that tower. But then that's not the case with Tornado, because Tornado will actually pull it kind of towards the back, so that actually gives your tower to do more damage to that troop itself. Also, when it actually comes to zap, you can put it on the princess, but then the princess will be alive. But then with the case of Tornado, it'll pull him right to the middle. I mean, it'll pull her right into the middle, and then your tower can engage with that princess and do some damage as well. So again, the Tornado can do what you call is that you can actually activate the tower with the Tornado, but then that's not the case with zap. So again, the Tornado is much better, but then you just have to spend 1 extra elixir. Again, when it actually comes to using elixir, the lesser you use, the more you have to actually make out of it. But then the Tornado is just 1 elixir away. It's not a big difference, but then it definitely does cost the rate if you can actually use the zap. the most effectively. If you can actually use Zap more effectively, then that is going to actually give you the victory over there. So here are some things that you can actually do with the tornado. So first off, you can actually defend with your tornado. So if say some barbarians are coming in and you can actually have the executioner over here, you can actually club them all together, and that is going to do some massive amount of damage. That is pretty much one thing that you actually have to do with tornado. Make sure you're putting in the executioner, put in the tornado, club them all right into the center, and it's pretty much game over. He has so much range over there, the executioner. He is actually going to do so much damage up and down, so it's definitely going to do a really great damage. So again, use the tornado when there's a lot of troops coming towards your way. Apart from that, the other thing that you can actually do is kill at least one troops, like maybe the skeleton army, the minion horde and stuff. It's definitely going to work out a lot. It's definitely worth using the tornado for these kind of troops, the troops that actually cost really less and they are just going to devastate if you don't do anything. So better put in the tornado to actually do that. Of course, one main thing a lot of people actually do is activate that king tower with the help of the tornado. So if the opponent is coming up with maybe a hog rider, a miner, giant or something like that, that actually is going to help you activate that tower, then use the tornado. Again, that is pretty much a thing that a lot of people actually know to do, and it's pretty much not that easy. You definitely need to have some precision going in over there. It's not that easy to do. So apart from that, you can actually use the tornado again to bunch up the troops. So if you have the princess locked on from a corner, you can actually use the tornado to actually make sure that your princess is actually doing some extra bit of damage. So take this for a case. So if your princess is locked on to that tower there, the opponent's tower, and the opponent has actually put in some troops to that tower over there, kind of near to that tower, you can actually put in the tornado over there and club them all kind of near to the tower there, and she is going to get two shots, one to that tower and the other one for that troop itself. So she's going to do two shots both to the tower and the troops. So that is actually going to reduce some hit points. So that is what you call effective use of elixir. You can actually use that to do some crazy bit of damage. So that is something which a lot of people actually don't do because they don't have probably the princess. But then if your opponent is putting in some troops kind of near the tower, make sure you're actually pulling them all kind of towards the tower, and then the princess should do more damage to the tower as well as that troop. So again, tornado comes in handy when you are actually want to retarget. You want to actually make sure that your prince tower, I mean the tower, is actually going to retarget. So say for suppose your opponent actually put in a giant skeleton and there is a minion horde over here. So if the tower is locked on to the giant skeleton, then you and the minion horde are doing some crazy bit of damage, you can actually use the tornado to pull them all backwards. Now since the minion horde is faster than what the giant skeleton is, of course tanks are much lower than other cards, so that will actually help you take the minion horde rather than the giant skeleton. If you just do that, it's definitely going to be a big chaos over there. The tower is definitely going to go down. So that is something that you actually can do. You can actually use the tornado to retarget and take the card that is actually much faster than that of the others. So the cards that are faster are definitely ones that have less amount of hit points compared to the one that actually are slower. So another thing which you can actually do is if you have the Inferno Tower or maybe Inferno Dragon, then you can actually put in the tornado to club them all towards the middle. I mean at least get that one single troop towards the middle, and that is actually going to help the Inferno Dragon lock onto that particular troop, and it's just going to take that down within no time because they're just going to stay there and not move, and the Inferno Dragon initially will start up with a low amount of heat, but then as the time goes she's actually going to put in so much damage. So that is again going to be really helpful. So use in the tornado to actually make sure that you're making most out of it with the help of the Inferno Dragon. So there are some things that you actually will be doing that shouldn't be done. So for example, if you actually activated the tower, if you actually had the opponent come and put in the miner towards your tower, you can actually use the tornado to activate the king tower. So the next time he's going to drop in the miner, you shouldn't probably be doing that. That's actually a waste of actually doing a tornado. It's not going to do much of the damage, but then don't just waste that tornado over there. It might come in handy if the opponent actually put in a skeleton army. In that case, it can actually help you out a lot. Or maybe if the opponent is actually having a graveyard, then it at least does a decent amount of damage rather than actually calling in the miner towards the middle. that is what I would recommend. As soon as you activate the tar, don't actually go in and use the other tornado to do the same again, because it's activated. There's no point of actually doing that. It's just a waste over there. So when you're actually taking in tornado decks, you definitely need to have an Ayrus splasher over there, like maybe a Visit, what is that, the Princess or the Executioner. These are the cards that you actually will be needing. So if you're not using the tornado to club them all in and use the Visit or the Executioner to do some damage, that is something you're actually doing wrong, and that is what I would not tell you to do, because that is something that's actually going to give you a lot of elixir benefit. It's actually going to club in all the troops and actually do so much damage. So that is something that you actually need to understand. Make sure you're actually effectively using the elixir. So there are some other tips, of course. You can actually use the Sparky in the tornado. That's just going to be a big trouble for the opponent, to be honest. It's definitely going to be a lot of trouble for them. It's definitely a thing that will change your game over there. The Sparky is just going to initiate and then shoot in, and it's just going to kill all of them within no time. So yeah, again, use the tornado to actually activate the King Tar. Use the tornado to club all the troops and do some damage with some Ayrus Splash troop. That's again going to be really helpful. Use the tornado to any sworn attacks, like maybe the Skeleton Army, Minion Horde, or something like that. That's going to really help you a lot. Again, use the tornado to switch between lanes. If you can actually do that, that will be really awesome as well. And one more thing, if you're actually using the tornado on a balloon, it will probably not even hit it. I actually did see a couple of times, and then it definitely does work. If you can actually put in the tornado to a balloon, I mean kind of pulling it kind of backwards, then it's definitely not gonna at least do 1 damage. That is what I haven't actually noticed. The balloon will not be in a position to do even 1 bit of damage to that tower. So next time you're actually facing in a balloon, use the tornado, a perfect counter for it. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. It is pretty simple to use a tornado, but then a lot of people actually aren't getting to actually know the best amount out of the tornado. So it's really useful card out there, useful spell. So definitely give it a try. It's definitely going to be worth it. So thank you so much for watching till the very end. I'm Ayrus, and I'll be seeing you next time. Until then, goodbye.